Welcome to your first makeup for Stage and Film Makeup. We're doing basic contouring. Here I have my face chart and I'm pointing out the highlights and shadows. I've used a little symbol, a circle for highlight, and a triangle for contour. Here is my makeup area. I've got a paper towel laid down so that I can keep my desk clean. I've got all my foundations and all the things I'm going to be using. This is the Maron Cream Blend, and I've got the Maron Celeb Pro. They're both in Mid-Light Olive, which is my foundation color, and I'm going to use the Celeb Pro for this. This is a little easier to work with a brush with, and it's a little bit nicer makeup. So I'm just going to set that aside. I also have a much lighter foundation, which I might use as a highlight. I might use this color right here. This is the Maron. It says eye cream. You can use it as a highlight. You can use it as whatever you want. A cream is a cream. I also have this NYX, this is a contour palette from NYX. You'll have something in your kit that's kind of like a palette that's gonna have a lot of these colors in it. You'll have something like that highlight color. You might have to use white depending on how pale your skin is. I have these two shadow colors here. One is called Contour and one is called like Light Cocoa. I think I mostly use the Light Cocoa, but you wanna go with a pretty dark color. The kit might come with something like that eye cream color there, that dark brown color. It's going to be darker than you think it needs to be, but it's going to blend really well. So you can use a darker color than you think you can. I also have a lip cream and a cheek cream. These are both cream colors that we're going to use on our lips and our cheeks. I've got two powder brushes and some powder. I'm going to forget to set this with powder at the end. I've got my mascara. This is NYX On The Rise. It's just a plain old mascara. I really like NYX as a makeup company. They do great work. These are two brushes that I'm going to use for most of the makeup. They're not great brushes, but they're a lot like the ones that come in your kit. I also have an eye pencil. This is Kryolan's eye pencil. You will have a Maron one. It's just fine. This one has a brown end and a black end. I'm going to use the black end. I also have a foundation brush, which is how I like to apply foundation. I think this is actually a watercolor brush that I use as a foundation brush. The shape I like is filbert. I also have some makeup sponges. I like the brush, but I will demo some things with the makeup sponges for you. I also have some false eyelashes, which we're going to play with at the end. I will apply those poorly. And I've got my eyeshadows, my powder shadows that I'm going to use to do just a little bit of natural makeup after I do the contouring. I'm going to use that light brown as a shadow. Okay, starting with foundation, I'm just going to pick some up on my brush. Like I said, you can use the wedge for this. I'll demo that in a second. And you just apply it evenly all over your face. If you use the brush, you'll get some brush streaks, but I'll show you how to blend those out in a bit. And here I'm going to use the sponge. You can do whatever you like. I find the brush is a little more accurate and I just really like using brushes because I'm kind of a painter at heart. So you can use what you like. I tend to find when people blend with the makeup sponges though, they get they're a little too hard to control and people tend to over blend when they use the makeup sponge. That doesn't mean you can't use one, just be careful with how you blend. And you'll notice this is washing me out a little bit because it's a tiny, tiny bit light. But I also have a lot of redness and color in my face. So you'll find that you look a little bit washed out after you put your foundation on. And that's because what the foundation is doing is blocking all the color in your skin. It's blocking all the blues and blood vessels and pinks and liveliness of your skin. Stretch your face around, make sure you work it in all the cracks and creases. Y'all are young, so you won't have that. So I'm using this brush here to smooth, this is a powder brush, to smooth out any brush strokes I have and just make sure the foundation is really even. It's a good idea to just kind of map out before you start, before you get any product, like where am I going to put my contours? I need to do the sides of my head. I need to do my jawline. I need to do my cheekbones. Where are those? What do they look like on my face? Keep your workstation clean, put your products away. I'm going to start with this cocoa color, this light cocoa color, and I think that's going to be dark enough for me. Make sure you don't get too much product and just start loosely blocking in where you think everything's going to go. Don't go past that plane where your face turns. Remember we talked about that? Your contour does not come all the way down to your mouth. The shadow for your jawline goes on the underside of your jaw. You can even put a highlight on the top side of it if you want to make yourself look really wide in the jaw. And a little bit around my forehead. I probably should have done a little bit more up towards my widow's peak here, but I didn't. And if you're doing shadow here, which you don't necessarily need to, but a lot of people contour their forehead, pull it back into your hairline when you blend it. You don't need to do this little chin contour, and I'm doing some upper lip contours here. I think I do a little bit of nose. You don't need to do them. It's a good thing to practice. It's the kind of thing you might want to do depending on the side of your stage. So after I've got everything blocked in, I like to pull it out with the brush to sort of have the right amount of color in the right places. It's gonna look smooth or it's gonna look blotchy until I smooth it out. But this pulls all that color around to get it where I want. Mostly I'm pulling the brown out. I will then use my foundation brush to help smooth and blend bigger areas of color. And you can see the forehead is a little bit heavy on the forehead. Again, you want to look at these from several feet away. I'll often stop and lean back or even walk across the room. On these cheek contours, you want to start by pulling that color up, not down. So pull it up, and it should be wider towards the ear and taper to nothing. It can be straight or it can be curved. It wants to probably curve up a little bit for a girl to give you that nice apple cheeked look. I'm using the little brush to move the color around where I want it. And I'll use the big brush to smooth it out. And I'm just checking the angle of my face right there. Make sure I don't pull the contour too far down. The contour on my jawline, I'm going to pull down towards the neck. And I'm leaving a relatively sharp line there until I got the color where I want. You can see that line is still pretty sharp. I'm going to smooth it out in a bit with that foundation brush. The great thing about blending with a foundation brush as well is it's got a little bit of your foundation in it. You don't want to apply more foundation to it. It's just got just enough in the bristles that it helps move the product around and smooth the blending out. So pull that out. And I don't feel the need to bring my jawline contour all the way to my chin because my chin is so far out it doesn't really need the shadow. And there I am pulling across it. Notice how I pulled a little brush towards the neck, and here I'm running the brush the other way, and that also helps smooth out that color. It looks crazy when you look at it like this, but if you step back a lot across the room, you'll notice the shadows kind of fall into their natural position. Okay, we're going to start with highlight now, and I'm going to use a different brush for highlight. I try to keep those separate, but I also have a makeup wipe over there that I use to wipe off brushes if I need to as I go, and I will need to move it. So the place I like to start with doing the little triangular area under the eyes. When I'm doing my highlight, you can start wherever you want. But the big areas to do with highlight are that triangular area under the eyes. You don't really have to do the nose, like I said, but you can if you want to. I went ahead and did it. The forehead and maybe the chin. I switched colors here because I didn't think that color was bright enough. You'll notice that while my face is looking three-dimensional, I start to look a little washed out when I do this, and that's normal. You have to use some color. You have to put some color back into your face after you do this. Got my forehead contour, got my triangles, looking like a 3D person. You really don't need to do the nose. I'm just sort of demoing it so you can see how it might be different. Okay, lean back. Does that look good? Does that look too much? Do I need to blend some more? You can blend some more out if you want to. Now I'm going to do cheek color. And this is a cream cheek color, and it's pretty intense. I like to apply cheek color with my finger. You can see I'm trying it here on my hand. That's pretty crazy if I were to just wipe it on. I'm going to dot it on my finger, and then I'm just going to gently tap it around the apple area of my cheek. Smile so you know exactly where it should go. And I look a little bit like I have the measles, and that's okay because we're going to blend that out. But if you dot it kind of randomly, you get a more natural look because it looks a little bit more like, random blood vessels under the skin, which is what blushed cheeks are supposed to look like. You can see I'm blending it out there with my foundation brush. And it's all looking nice and alive. I don't look quite so dead anymore. A little bit of blush brings you back to life. And I like to dot a little bit of that pink blush color in my T-zone as well. I just think this makes you look nice and healthy and good. Now we're gonna do the lip color. This is, the Maron kit comes with a lip color that's a pretty nice natural color, and I'm gonna apply it with a brush. It's honestly a great color. It's not great as a lipstick in that it's basically just a cream makeup color. If you want something that's gonna stay and not get on other people or stay for a whole show or especially stay for a whole evening, I wouldn't recommend using this, but it's great to practice with. Nice natural color. Move your mouth around, make sure it's where you want it. Now I'm gonna do my eyes. So I've got a separate brush here that I pulled out for my eyebrows, or my eyes. I can't use those brushes. This is just a Maybelline Light. You wanna use matte colors in general because you don't want any shimmer to pick up with lighting. And I apply my base shadow all over my eye from the brow all the way down to the lash line. And I have really deep sunken eyes, so I will definitely get it all over the lid, and I actually don't put any color back over the lid, and that helps my lids show up and helps make my eyes pop. Some people use a different color on the upper eye and on the lid, but I just like to use the same one. Now I'm going to go for my shadow color. You want to make sure you don't have too much light color, base color left on your brush. And here's like a nice light brown that I'm going to use. Get some of that going. And I'm going to start at the outer corner and pull it in. And that's kind of a modern shape. This shape will be different depending on your period. This is sort of a neutral modern shape. We're not going for a smoky eye or anything. Just a little bit of shadow to help marry the contrast with the rest of your face and make your eyes pop. And I follow my brow bone. I kind of bring it from the corner of my eye up to my brow bone, on the crease up, and none on the lid. I'm using my makeup wipe to wipe the lip color off of that. Now I'm gonna do my eyebrows. And I like this sort of gray brown color for my eyebrows. And I just use a brush and I kind of use a really sharp angle with it so that mostly I'm hitting the hairs of my eyelash or my eyebrows and not like putting it directly on my skin, putting the eyeshadow on my skin. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so you want to get them similar, but they don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. And this is my natural eyebrow shape. It's a nice arched eyebrow. You can pencil them in and whatever your shape is. You can also use a pencil to do them, but I don't like to. I'm going to do eyeliner now. I'm going to use the black. You can use the brown if you want. That's fine. Gently tug the skin so it's a tiny bit tight. Otherwise, the pencil will just drag. And then try to use the side of the pencil, not directly the point of the pencil. And you want to get the pencil right up to where your eyelashes meets your eyelid. Kind of pull out. And you may have to go back and forth with the pencil a little bit because you'll notice the skin on your eye likes to drag. You don't want to pull too tight here because that will stretch your skin out even more. So it's kind of a catch-22. You have to pull it out a little bit, but you don't want to pull any harder than you need to. You can do your waterline with a pencil as well, but it will make your eyes look smaller. So it's a very piratey thing to do. It's not something we're going to do. I'm going to use my mascara. This is a NYX mascara. And I do this by bringing the wand up to my eye and then kind of blinking and shimmying the wand through my eyelashes. I'm gonna do that on both eyes. Usually by the time I've done the second eye, the first eye is dry enough to do a second coat. A second coat will pop and help with the drama. You don't have to do your bottom lashes like this. Some periods require it. If you do it, beware that eventually you will get fallout in your eye socket. So if you're worried about eye bags, maybe stay away from that. You can. Okay, now I'm gonna go for false eyelashes. I'm gonna clean up my brushes. It's always a good idea to clean up your brushes, keep everything clean. I'll give these a proper clean afterwards, but get the makeup, get the product off of them. That wipe is just a great way to have that going. Okay, so these I believe are Kiss false lashes. You can get them anywhere. I got these at Walmart. You want to remove them with tweezers because they tend to be easy to pull apart if you try to move them with your fingers. You can pull them apart with tweezers as well. There's a tiny bit of adhesive holding them on there. That's not the adhesive you want to use on your eyes. I have Duo eyelash glue, which a lot of people love. You'll notice the eyelashes have an inside and an outside. And the first thing you need to do is fit these to your eye. They are going to be too big. And you're going to trim them from the outside. So figure out how many little bundles of lashes you need to cut off. I think I cut off 3. And check the fit again. If you do not cut them down, they're gonna poke in the corner of your eye, and they should match up with where your eyelashes actually are. So that's gonna be a little bit to the inside and a little bit before your eye creases around the corner. Cut both lashes to the same length, and go ahead and apply the glue to the very edge and a tiny bit to the underside. You are gonna put this on your lash line, which is where your lashes meet your eyelid. You want to technically glue it to your eyelashes right at the lash line. So not on your eyelid, but right up in there. And I think I get this on my lid a little bit because I'm not very good at it. I think I tried this twice. And it is tricky. And I'm using a little mirror that I'm staring into. That's why I keep looking down. You can see I've got that on my eyelid and it looks quite silly. And they'll feel weird. And once you got it in place, you can see I'm kind of pinching them together there. You want to pinch the false eyelash to your natural eyelashes. And I'm applying second one here. This glue that you use, you have to let it dry for like 30 seconds. I've cut that out of the video because you don't want to watch that. I'm applying the second one. The second one goes a lot better. You can kind of see me using the mirror here in this shot. And you can see they're not exactly even, but they're not terrible. You can push them around. They feel really weird, but you do get used to them. I think I'm just gonna let the bad eyelash go. You can use mascara to blend them together. That's gonna help putting a final little beauty coat of mascara to blend your eyelashes into the false eyelashes. False eyelashes are great for stage, for a little bit of drama, really make your eyes pop. And I am made up.